Welcome, delegates. Let's do our sound check. Can you hear me? Diane Collins, Nilda, Nina, Priscilla Harris, Yolanda Dawson. Y'all who are on Facebook, can you hear me? Let's do a sound check. Those that are on Periscope, can you hear me? I see Du Bois. I see Lady Latanya. Let's do a sound check. How's the clarity? And YouTube, Elia. Hello, love. Can you hear me? Let's do a sound check. How we doing, guys? How are we? Good evening. I can hear you on YouTube. Mwah. Bless you, my sweetie. How we doing on Periscope? Yes, we can hear you, but can't see you. Okay, it's coming. Mishi, Du Bois, come on, y'all. Come on in. Katrina said loud and clear. Good evening, Denise Williams. Good to hear from you on here. Jackie Minion. Good evening, Apostle in 2019 Detox Delegates. Come on down. Come on, Minister Jackie. Turn it up in here. You know what temperature I like to have this at. Greetings. I bring you greetings from the Detox House. House of counsel, healing, and deliverance. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Let me wipe the screen just in case. My phone goes through a lot in the daytime. So good to hear and see and read and view y'all. Just loving all up on you today. How are you? I'm glad the sound check is good. I can see. I'm so glad y'all can see on Periscope. Good evening, Selena's Cologne Biggs, my man. Lady Latanya, Mishi. Good, I see y'all coming in. Ooh, this wind is picking up around here. Sounds scatty. Welcome. Woo, tonight is a good one. Tonight is a good one. I hope this internet is better tonight because I'm not taking this nonsense. I'm not taking it. Looks like YouTube and Periscope might be having some issues. I'm not taking it. Everything's plugged in. Everything should be working just fine. Last night was Facebook. Now his twins want to act up. Periscope and YouTube. Come on. Let me try to refresh just to make sure. It might just be the internet on my side. No, it's not. It says connecting. All right, but y'all still there. All right, good. The hearts are still going. I think we got something here. Good. All right, let's get talking about it. Evening, Okita 06, hanging out on YouTube tonight. Good evening to my Periscope loves. I can't see any of y'all names now. Okay, it's coming back up. The whole screen just cleared up. But I'm glad that I'm on here. This internet has been really bugging out over here at our house today. Frontier and any weather systems, I'm telling you, we might as well have a dish. Ready and waiting patiently, says Karen Jameson on Facebook. Awesome. I want to give one of our loves tonight who has graciously sent in their picture. And let's see if I can get her up on these screens. I got everything else going on up over here. She's coming up now. And it's loading. You got 10 minutes. My little baby. She's growing up. She said, is it time for me to go upstairs yet? I loved last night. Last night she said to me, can I just go up? And went up, and by the time I was through with So Detox, she was up and in the bed and not completely out. Second heavens. Use as an image. Done. All right, let's celebrate. Coming across to you now on, I'm going to move over here. It looks bigger over there. Coming to you now. Why this screen likes to lose everything. I need my producer. Coming to you now on Facebook. Y'all going to see in a couple of seconds because of the relay. This is Yvonne Boeing. And she's one of our delegates. She's been with us. She's the blessed woman who drew most of the artwork that we have for So Detox. Y'all have seen up at a lot of the events. And she should be coming up now on Periscope and YouTube. Let's give her a shout out of praise for sending in her testimony and sending in all her paraphernalia for detox and the RX. Because we don't just detox anymore. We have the RX for the detox. Awesome. Yep, that's all right, Cheryl Wilberg. I know you have Bible study tonight. Faithful, faithful, stay faithful, faithful. All right, let me see once I know that y'all can see her up on your screens. Come on, let's give her a shout out. Wonderful pick. All right, good. You can see her on Facebook. Awesome. Excelente. Wonderful to see. Yvonne Bowen. She's our artist. She drew the tree, in which y'all know I do a lot of my ministering from. That I believe that a lot of life is explained through the tree. And the root is always the place where we have to go and get all of the soulful issues of our life. We don't attack the fruit. We probably have, and it's wasted a lot of time, but now we have learned better so we can do better, and we're attacking the root. Beautiful and great design. Yes, it's wonderful. Maybe she'll send a picture of that. We can put it up tomorrow for everyone who hasn't seen it. Good evening, Melody. Good to have you with us on YouTube tonight. I pray y'all are okay on Periscope. It looks frozen on my side, but I pray y'all are okay. Maybe I have too many screens open. Y'all okay on Periscope? How we doing? We're on chapter 12 tonight. We're on chapter 12. How we doing? Sabotage, chapter 12. Periscope, are y'all there? Working on them roots. I know that's right, Biggs. Me too. Periscope is good. Okay, so it's just on my end, my internet. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to go. We're going to jump into this. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. We're going to deal tonight with sabotage. And it's not just the external issues of sabotage, but also the internal issues of sabotage. Because we always want to make it external. It's about everybody else. It's their fault I can't do this. It's because of this I can't do this. And for a while in your life that may have been true. But these 29 days, there's no way on God's green earth we can continue to say that external things are going to stop us any longer. We've been given tools and resources and blessings and affirmations and teams and even coaching sessions. I mean, you know, Reverend Trish had posted on YouTube, just take the hourly rate for coaching times 30 hours. And this is how much has been invested in us. So I pray that we go back and do the replay. And in February, when I take one video a week, and I'm going to have it posted on my Facebook page, and I'm going to send out emails to all the subscribers. So come on, we're on countdown, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure you subscribe to the website so you can keep up with what we're doing weekly. I'm going to be sending some special one-on-one things just to you, just to subscribers and members, because you have gone through this with me. We have gone through this collectively, so you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll recognize the terminology, and you know you'll recognize some of the references that I'll be making. So please make sure that you subscribe to the website, and the website is www.suzannemhoward.com. SUZANNE Howard.com. Subscribe. Don't hit contact us. You want to hit subscribe so that you can keep up with us. So every week I will be sending out a video, starting with video number 1. And we'll have a week to get the assignments done. And we will follow up during the week. And I'll give you little, incentives and little boosts and little booster shots to keep you on focus with the homework so that it can be done for the next week. I'm going to have some of y'all call in live while I'm right here online with you. And we're going to take your questions, and we're going to hear some of the things that have been revealed or even exposed in your life. And we're going to address those as well. And we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty root of this in 2019. And we're going to say so long, bye-bye to a lot of things in our life. And tonight we're going to deal with sabotage. Here is our quote tonight from Will Durant. Will Durant. To speak ill of others is a dishonest way of praising ourselves. Chapter 2, if you have the book, it's on page 287 tonight. To speak ill of others is a dishonest way of praising ourselves. Ooh, 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 ooh. What does Minister Leah say in Minister Latanya? Shots fired, shots fired. If it hit you, let it hit you. To speak ill of others is a dishonest way of praising ourselves. Woo, let's go. All right, I'm going to skip the reading part and I'm going to start out on page 291. It starts out with the paragraph, what happened to Joan was not new. And I'm not reading her testimony for the sake of time. Here we go. Too often, as we get a glimpse of our authentic self, we hear a whisper of what our potentials are, and then the threats arise. Isn't that the truth? Friends and family do not always plan to hold you to a fictional self. They don't always plan to hold you to a fictional self. Some do it, but they do it out of a desire to protect you. Others are trying to protect themselves from change. I see this so often in counseling session with married couples, deeply in love, and you can tell that they're in love, and you know they would risk their lives for each other. But the problem comes in is when one starts getting the itches for growth, one start getting the itches for change, and all of a sudden this other spouse comes up with all of these issues as if they have a real problem in the house. Well, dinner's not going to be made, and you know, how's this going to be affected, and how are the children going to be affected, and they come up with all of these things, and it becomes a sabotage. And your very own spouse can be a saboteur in your life, but this is the reason why, because they are trying to protect themselves from your change. Come on, I'm preaching up in here already. They are trying to protect themselves from your change. Still others may be trying to protect the predictable world that the two of you share. Now, I got to read that again because things are working out in me right here. Friends and family do not always plan to hold you to a fictional self. Some do it out of a desire to protect you. Their heart believes that they're really protecting you. Others are trying to protect themselves from your change. Still others may be trying to protect the predictable world that the two of you shared. Why you got to ruffle up the feathers? Why aren't you happy with the way things are? Aren't I good enough for you? Who was that in the Bible? Aren't I better than 7 husbands? You know, our life is nice and we're debt free and we don't have any expenses. Why do you want to go back to school? Why do you want to play around with that silly hobby? Why do you want to be on Soul Detox every night? There's nothing wrong with us. We're doing just fine. They are afraid of change, and therefore they are afraid of your change, and they are afraid that you are going to cause unrest to the predictable world that the two of you share. Come on, if y'all know I'm talking to you, y'all better talk back to me tonight. I'm not going to be working hard by myself. What I have found is that most people really do not know how to promote the welfare of someone else's authentic self. Or we could even put the word change there. What I have found is that most people really do not know how to promote the welfare of someone else's change. That's real stuff. That's real stuff. This is something that you have to even be taught as a minister. When someone comes in and their life it appears to be more blessed than yours or more successful, you know, when people are in the prosperous season and you're in a barren one, or somebody's in a productive season and you're in a dark season, you know, and you have to root for them, coach them, cheer them, pray for them, encourage them, cover them while they're progressing and productive and growing. And you're in this dark, barren season in God. But we have to know, because a lot of people honestly do not know how to back people up when they're in their season of growth and change. Most people really do not know how to promote the authentic self or the changes that you want to make in your life. Doing so takes both wisdom and a great big dose of trust. Trusting your choices, deciding to step back and allow you to live in your authentic self requires that the other people in your life trust the process, perhaps even more than you do. Oh man, y'all feeling it tonight? This is really for me. I'm just going to work this thing out here tonight all by myself. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Some people really do not know how to be happy for other people or how to encourage other people. Thank you, Nilda Nina. I'm reading your comments. Absolutely, Eagle Vision. Yes, Nessa, come on. Some people really just don't know how to genuinely be happy for someone else because it does take wisdom and a great big dose of trust, especially if you're married. Trusting your choices, deciding to step back and allow you to live in your authentic self requires that the other people in your life trust the process, perhaps even more than you do. It is easy for them to feel threatened. They may fear losing you because you appear to be outgrowing them. As a result, they may try consciously or otherwise to maintain the status quo. In essence, it takes an authentic person to know and understand what your quest for getting back to your authentic self or getting better than you have been and what that is all about. Getting support and empathy from the people in your life is tough because to them, your situation looks unstable. That's what change looks like to people. And to me, the status quo is just unstable. That's just mental illness for me. And then you have those who don't like change. So any change is unstable to them. It's shaking the foundation of that place that they found comfort in. Are y'all with me? They may even feel threatened. It is easy for them to feel threatened. They may fear losing you because you appear to outgrow them. As a result, they may try consciously or otherwise to maintain the status quo. In essence, it takes an authentic person to know and understand what your quest for getting back to your authentic self is all about. Come on, come on, come on. Rhonda West said, here we go. Oh, tonight's going to be hot. Tonight's going to be hot. I was hot all day holding all this inside of me. Wisdom and trust goes hand in hand, someone is saying on Periscope. Facebook, y'all looking good over there? Yep, YouTube is saying change looks unstable. Absolutely. Why you always got to be going through something? Because I can't stay where I am. Come on. Getting support and empathy from the people in your life is tough because to them, your situation looks unstable. You are questioning every value and belief you have had about yourself. If that's not scary enough for you, you are questioning your relationships. And it may appear to them that you do not have very clear ideas yet. Often, those same people are the ones who are too afraid to confront their own twists and turns. They are only challenging your new script because it challenges their old one. Let me just spin because I can't get up. Let me just do a spin. That's my walk around here tonight. Because it challenges your new script because that challenge challenges their old script. Your change is going to cause me to work. Your change is going to cause me to change. And I have decided a long time ago. In fact, that's why I married you. Because you seem so settled in at life. I was safely choosing you. My critical choice in choosing you was motivated by a factor called stability. I wanted to be with someone who wouldn't outgrow me, who wouldn't cause me to change, who wouldn't push me into the future. But together, we'll just work out this thing called life together. And then one of y'all has an awakening. And here comes trouble. And we take it personal when somebody we love wants to make changes. I cannot find, okay, let me read this testimony to you. This lady here was fighting cancer. Okay, let me sum it up. She was fighting cancer and she decided not to go the pharmacia way. She decided not to go the traditional way, I guess is what they would call it. or the medicine way of chemotherapy and all that stuff. She decided that she wanted to use homeopathic and herbs and change her diet completely around, and her family was up in arms. They were ecstatic because for them, her change caused fear that she may die or die quicker doing this old witch doctor way, is which they referred to it in this testimony, versus the way that they trusted her to go in the hands of the doctors. But she chose not to do that. So she had to set them straight because they had become saboteurs in her life. And that's what Peter was doing to Jesus. Peter was a saboteur in telling Jesus, no, you cannot go. And Jesus had to say, get thee behind me. Satan, I rebuke thee. Because Peter unknowingly, out of the motivation of a pure and loving heart, was becoming a saboteur, a sabotage along the way of the plans that Jesus knew God had already had given him for his life, and he willingly accepted. So this woman had to go back and say, I cannot find and fight my cancer if I have to fight you all at the same time. Page 293. I just can't fight y'all and cancer at the same time. I need someone to believe in me. And if you cannot do that, then you will have to leave until my process is over. Oh my God, let me see how y'all looking out here. I hope all these sites are up and running. You will have to leave my life until my process is over, because I am getting ready to disrupt the pattern of my life. So the people and places and things that are attached to me are about to go through a disruption as well. It's like a wave as that big old cruise ship goes by, and slowly, that wave hits the shore where the rest of us only have our feet in the water, but we see the roughness coming in. This is what's going to happen to the people, places, and things that are around you when your change begins to come. And you have to be willing and have a made up mind and say, I need someone to believe in me. And if you cannot do that, then you will have to leave until this process is over. Melody said, amen. Come on, page 294. I have discovered some of the dynamics of how people react toxically to your becoming consistent with your authentic self. You need to know these dynamics so that you won't be sabotaged along your path of healing. Okay, good. I'm seeing you all right. Y'all popping up all right? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. There are four basic destructive patterns that others can introduce into your quest for authenticity. Go on the alert for these patterns. Be cautious when you are most vulnerable, and always plan a way out in case you get trapped in their conversation. Remember that the people who respond to you with one of these pattern behaviors are carriers of toxicity to the self, whether they intend to be or not. And as I said before, they are normally not trying to do you harm, but rather they are trying to protect their own lives, protect their own fears, and protect their own fictional self. Understand that I am not concerned here with their intentions. Whether these people mean to hurt you or not is not my issue. As your coach, I'm being selfish on your behalf. Here, which means I am looking only at results. I'm being selfish in this situation as your coach for you. And this is where it gets a lot of fun. People are like, well, you know, my husband doesn't really think you're on my side. No, your husband hasn't hired me. So I'm not against him, but I'm not for him either. He does not exist in the world of coaching that you and I have covenanted in. Things that you told me you wanted to do, my job is to get them done. And just like a coach in the gym, I've got to put weight on you. I've got to stress the muscles and nerves in you. You know, sometimes you're going to throw up because of the strain that's on your body. And when I'm working with you as a coach, I'm not working with the rest of your family. They're not holding dumbbells and barbells, and they're not on the elliptical and the treadmill. It's you and I in this process together. So you're going to have to work that out with your loved ones. And you're going to have to let them know. What was the statement the woman made who was fighting cancer? Cannot do that. Then you will have to leave until my process is over. I feel like spinning again, but I'm going to say in my seat right here. I'm being selfish as your coach on your behalf, which means I am only looking for results. My job as your coach is to be results driven. All right. They said they feel that. They're shouting yes on Facebook. They're getting it over there. Your husband didn't hire me. Absolutely. And you wouldn't want me working on his behalf because I have been given the plans and the purposes for the task and the assignment that you want. And it's important for me to not get domesticated. I need to stay in the vein of coaching and counselor so that the Holy Spirit can lead me and guide me so that I can take you into the truths that are here for your life. Come on, page 295. The 4 categories that I typically see among the carrier population can be identified as the carrier population. These are what is being referred to as carriers of toxicity. Carriers of toxicity. Most carriers of toxicity are, no, I don't want to say it that way. Most carriers of toxicity are people who are not changing themselves. They've settled in. As Dr. Phil says, they have sold out. So what makes them carriers of toxicity is because they have decided that they're not changing, so they can't welcome or be excited about yours. That's what makes them carriers of toxicity, because of what they have made up in their own mind. So there's 4 categories, 4 patterns of destructive patterns. Are y'all ready? The first one is overprotection. Overprotection. We're going to break each one down. So you are not going to be able to blend it, miss it, or be manipulated by the carriers of toxicity in your life. You are not going to be manipulated, undermined, shamed into, guilted into, tricked into, bought into anything else. If you go into another year with the carriers of toxicity in your life, it's because eyes wide open, you decided to do it. It's not because you didn't have the tools, you didn't have the resources, you didn't know the truth, so you were blindly being led like sheep to a slaughter. You can't say that anymore. After January 31st, 2019, you cannot say that. You have the information now. You've been awakened. Your senses are on fleek right now, and they're going to recognize all of the people we talked about, all the times that your old behaviors and patterns pop up. Your body, its senses are going to go off like a brand new alarm system on sensitive. Carriers of toxicity. Their pattern 1 is to be overprotective. Number 2, power manipulation. Power manipulation is number 2. Number 3, leveling. 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 Good. They're popping it up on Facebook. Come on. Let me check on my family out here while y'all writing. Periscope, I hope y'all good. All right, very good. And number 4, safety in the status quo. Safety. They are in toxic carriers because they are into safety. Safety in the status quo. Number 3, leveling. Number 2, power manipulation. And number 1 was overprotection. Good. We have time tonight. We got a good head start. Let's go in. Number 1, overprotection. What does that look like? This type of sabotage has a basic message of fear. I really don't think you are capable of being more than what you are. You're just setting yourself up for failure. Just calm down or you'll get hurt. If you reach too high, if you fail, you can fall and destroy yourself and everything you have. You mustn't get too lofty in your thinking. Just stay here with me and I will take care of you. It's a tough world out there, and I really now know whatever you have done, it's going to stay the way it's been. Let's not make any changes. Let's just I'm protecting you. So you can be guilted into it. I've seen a lot of grown women guilted by this overprotection, sabotaging mind and spirit, sometimes of an overbearing mother more often than an overbearing father. Let's just all live together. Let's just all, talk on the phone every day. All of us, we have to talk on the phone because I've got to make sure everybody's all right. Overprotective. Let me continue. Dr. Phil gives a testimony of a young man who wanted to be a pole vaulter. And his mother had so much fear in her life that through her life chain, she passed down this fear to him. And through that fear, he pursued through, he pushed through it, but he did not come in first place. Because even though he knew he had the gift for this thing, in the back of his mind, what did we talked about last night, y'all? The labels. Don't get hurt. You could get paralyzed. I seen somebody get paralyzed doing that before. The tapes. Oh, you see that thing on TV? Somebody just got hurt the other day in a simple little game or a simple little exercise, a simple little Olympics. Somebody just got hurt. The tapes and the labels begin to play because mom has been doing a job on your self-concept without you even know it, or your spouse, or your children, or your friends, whoever it is. So he was sharing how wonderfully this young man was doing until the tapes and the labels started playing from his mother. Overprotectors, like David's mother, the story I just gave you a brief chop out of, are extremely dangerous because their methods are virtually impossible. Come on, I had to get in your face with that one because I need to make sure you hear me. They come under the disguise of I'm caring about you. Look, I don't care about me. If I didn't care about you, I wouldn't say this. If I didn't care about you, I wouldn't be doing this. The antennas, let them go up. You're about to be set up. You got another 10 years to lose? You got another 25 years to lose? Okay, I didn't think so. Overprotectors are extremely dangerous because their methods are virtually invisible. They seem so loving, so well intended. Their influence can be especially powerful because it usually comes from someone you trust. The wisdom that they want to share is given in the name of love and concern, making it very hard to fight, particularly if you are a little unsure of yourself. Yes, it may be painful to try and fail, but guess what? It's also a healthy part of life. But it is the attempt that should be honored, not the fear of failure. Put simply, your journey back to your authentic self is not going to be a success-only journey. Steel yourself against the naysayers and do what you have to do. I trust God in this season of change, and I don't think every day is going to be a sunny day and every day is going to be, coasting downhill. Some days I may have to walk up the hill in heat. Some days I may have to be, under pouring hell coming from the sky. It may be some sunny days and it may be some rainy days and some dark clouds. But I have made up my mind that this is the process that I intend to do for myself. So you're going to have to steel, he says, steel yourself against the naysayers. Stand flat-footed, our Bible tells us, against the naysayers and do what you have to do. Come on, let me look for questions and comments before I get going. Try and fail is a healthy part of life. And you have a coach. You have all the other family members here that's been on for 29 days thus far on Soul Detox. Some of y'all who have subscribed has also requested to be site members. With site members, Anya set up a blog that y'all can go in and no one can see it but other members of Soul Detox. So you go in there and you share what your struggle is today. Then you share how you beat it the next day, so that when someone else comes in and they're struggling, they want to see if anybody else struggled in this area. They can read your comment. Oh, this person almost even felt suicidal, but oh my God, they triumphed. So there's a blog that's just for us that only us can see. So there's so many different resources set up to not just encourage you, but to strengthen you and give you real life testimonies that failure is a part of success. You can do it. Power manipulation is our number 2. Power manipulation is the sabotage of your personal power in order to maintain a relationship. Had to breathe on that one, y'all. I'm sorry. Had to breathe on that one. Power manipulation is the sabotage of your personal power in order to maintain a relationship. Success threatens friends. Success threatens loved ones. Success threatens haters. Even to a breaking point, family and friends can be threatened by any success in your life. Their power to control and have access to you feels threatened, and they fear they would lose you. Instead of putting your interests ahead of their own, or choosing to be inspired along with you, they try to drag you back down into the relationship they had known before. Whether they did this consciously or otherwise was of little consequence to your situation, and so it will be in your life as well. You can let them know, I'm not accusing you. As a matter of fact, I feel your love in you trying to talk me out of this. I feel your concern in this situation. But this is something that I have to do. And I hope I don't have to eliminate you from my life while I go through this process. I cannot take the power manipulation that you are enforcing over me right now. So what you will have to do is learn to evaluate the messages you receive from those closest to you. I don't want you to become paranoid. We don't do that. But I do want you to listen and think for yourself. Is your mate telling you you can't because you can't, or because they are threatened if you do? Do you really feel that I can't? Or are you threatened that I will? What is the real threat here? And don't come at them in an argumentative way or belittling way or defaming way. Come at them in a real way. Like, I'm afraid. I'm scared. I'm digging into my past. You were a part of my childhood. You know a little bit about what's going to come up. But I'm going through this because I got to kill these roots that are destroying and contaminating all the fruit in my life. So are you really threatened that you're not sure if I'm going to be okay? Or are you threatened because you know that I'm going to do this thing very well? People who genuinely care would tell you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it. But they will also try to find a way to help you get what you want, even if it scares them for you to change. People who genuinely care. Don't assume you are being sabotaged just because someone disagrees with your plan, because they may be genuinely trying to give you valued feedback. If I get that word out, valuable feedback. But do examine their motives with your eyes wide open. They may be threatened by your personal empowerment, so that consciously or otherwise, they'll try to keep you in their safe little cocoon. The specific mechanism of this sabotage, come on, here's the note, is to infantile you, to treat you as a child so that you will yield in a childlike fashion to the authority of their power. It makes no difference at what age this exchange takes place. Power struggles can last a lifetime. I'm telling you, I see them all the time. Power struggles can last a lifetime. You may hear phrases like, who in the hell do you think you are? What do you think you are doing? Acting like you're holier than thou. What fool have you been listening to this soul detox? What fool have you been listening to now? Power is addictive, y'all. And if anyone has had that authority over you for any length of time, it will be difficult to change the power structure of that relationship. After all, if they have the power, why should they give it up? Why should they give it to you most of all? Let me read these comments. Examine motives. Do you feel that I can't, or are you threatened that I will? Horobo koshe. Losing your power to them. That's why you can't tell everyone everything. Keep your circle small, that sometimes I have trouble turning around. Woo! Go ahead, girl. It's like she put herself in a nice little corner with some healthy, selected people. We talked about that the other night. Boundaries. Know who's in your life. Know their purpose for them being in your life. And only the select few, just like Jesus' method of boundaries. He had the masses, he had the small remnant, and then he had the few. And then he got to the one. Boundaries. They keep relationships on the up and up as well too. You can have long-lasting relationships with people who really are not covenant people because you kept the boundaries of that relationship and you didn't break them no matter what. No matter how overprotective they may have seemed or power manipulative they may have become. You obeyed the promises to yourself or the boundaries you set with these people. The specific mechanism of this sabotage is to infantile you, to treat you as a child so you will yield in a childlike fashion to the authority over their power. And remember, as you scan your landscape looking for the source of these messages, be listening for your own voice too, because it may be the culprit. Your fictional self, with all its momentum, may be speaking the loudest about what you can't or shouldn't do. Either way, whether it's your voice or someone else's, be very careful about what messages you are willing to internalize. That's why the other night we said every 2 hours, just set your alarm in your phone. We got smart watches, smartphones, all kind of smart stuff. Let's be smart about it. Every 2 hours, put an alarm in your phone to go off. And you just take a couple minutes to write down the last few thoughts in your head. Just whatever it is. Food, Bible, sex, money, fear, angry, she's ugly, this TV show stupid. No matter how stupid it sounds, do not dot your I's. Do not stop to cross your T's. Do not use commas and semicolons and parentheses. Just journal. Get it out because it means something in the end. And every 2 hours, just take a couple minutes or 20 minutes, however you have the spirit to give, and get what's out of this mind in, because you have to find out how much sabotage, remember a few chapters ago, how much self-betrayal and self-abandonment you've literally been doing to yourself. The third one is leveling. Think about the person who feels deficit and inadequate. Something is missing, something necessary to be in all that they want to be. If someone else arrives on the scene, apparently possessing that something, a sense of injustice rages. Resentment, anger, and fear will emerge. People just aren't always really happy for your successes. If you let them control you with that jealousy, if you let them drag you down and define who you are, they will define you in a way that is convenient and non-threatening for them. That's what sabotage is about. It's not even really towards you. It's towards the information you shared with them, but it's causing some discomfort in them. Discomfort is arising in them. And that's when the sabotage come about. If your good didn't remind them of where they haven't made the right choices or where they have stopped producing or working towards personal development or on their weight loss or going back to school or anything, your sharing of your journey or your will to go after these things, even if you're 50 and 60 years old and you want to go back to college, it's not what you're doing that threatens them. It's the fact of how it's going to make them look. It's the fact of now they've got sabotage going on inside themselves that you're about to champion them and make them look bad. We all friends. How you going to come up on top and have us looking crazy? All kinds of things go through the minds of us people. People just aren't always really happy for your successes. If you let them control you with that jealousy, if you let them drag you down and define who you are, they will define you in a way that is convenient and non-threatening for them. That's what I mean by leveling. The attempt that others make to compromise you. I'll repeat it again. The attempt that others make to compromise you. To bring you to a level. To bring you to a level lower than the one they see themselves occupying. Think about it. Think about it. Leveling, the definition, the attempt that others make to compromise you, to bring you to a level lower than the one they see themselves occupying. Subtly, so subtly, and consciously or not, jealous people are going to sabotage you for reaching a higher level than you ever have or a higher level than they ever have. You know, we're all happy when we're at the same level. That's leveling. This can be a major league confuser because jealousy people flip-flop on you. They work for you when you're failing and work against you when you're succeeding. Let me read some comments. All right, Karen, I see your comment on Facebook. Thank you, Eagle Vision on Periscope and YouTube. Very good. Sharita's working it out. Melody's working it out. Elia's working out. Okita, very good. It's very subtle. And it can be major league confusion because jealous people flip-flop on you. They work for you when you're failing. Oh, girl, we good because you stressed out and you go have a drink. You stressed out, we need to go spend some money. And I get me an outfit too. You stressed out, we're going to go out to eat and drink. You stressed out, so we get to ride out all night long because you're the life of the party. They will level up with you when you're failing. But they will flip on you so quick and be against you when you start succeeding. Come on, I got to move. Safety in the status quo. Safety in the status quo. 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth one. Even when their life circumstances have never been sorrier, many people still crave the status quo. They do not want change, even change for the better. That's because there's safety in the status quo. They are living in their own fictional script, and who are you to try to mess up their performance? In showing your success, they may not be ready to look at their own weaknesses. Because even if the life they are living is inauthentic, it appears to be easy. At least everyone knows the rules and everyone knows what to expect, even if it's destruction. Come on, we know some of those people. Come on. It's obvious that although everyone clearly reported being miserable, no one really wanted to change the system. It's a testimony. You'll have to get the book and read it on $2.99. Is the little blurb I just read to you. It's about a woman who had gone through a divorce. They said it was an awful divorce, and I don't think he gave her age, but for some reason I made her in her 50s, and she decided to go through a divorce, and she couldn't wait. She knew when she told one of her friends, who was a pessimist, that she was going to be, you know, the one that sees everything half full or half empty. But she depended on this other friend who always laughed at her stories, who was always excited when she was doing other things, you know, would be cheering her on if she had an affair. But the fact that not only has she gone through a wicked divorce, see, they're there with you for the divorce because they level up with you when you're in misery and sorrow. But when you come out of that divorce and you grab that bull by the horn and you decide to make up some years of your life, they don't know what to do with you then. And they don't know what to do with your successes or your potential successes. So when she met with the pessimistic friend, she knew what she was going to get. But the other friend, who was always an encourager, always pushing her. But you see, she never paid attention before that the push that the one friend named Alice was doing was only a push at the level where Alice saw herself. She would not push her friend beyond the means which she could level herself up to in her own mind. So she had to keep her in the safety net of their status quo. Don't mess up the clique. Why do you think so many high school groups and cliques can't make it after college or after high school or later on in life? Because some are still in college. There's safety in the status quo. Some go and make a family, and they've got to be around people who have family. Some are pursuing career, and they don't have the time to hear about how many boxes of Pampers you went through and, you know, how the boo-boo was green today, and you all excited because it's the first time, you know, you saw something like that, and it's just reminding you of so much life in this living being that came out of your body. And the other person's like, I'm just trying to understand Law 101. I'm not interested in babies and how much Pampers cost. That's just not my arena. So somebody emerges and breaks the status quo. So the relationship that was built on the level they were all on could not endure when leveling began to happen. Because leveling up always breaks the status quo. Come on, you can write that down. Leveling up always breaks the status quo. And if your friends are status quo friends, when you level up, it's going to show that. In one of our last few sessions, I'm reading you a story now. Susan, the mother of the bunch of knotheads, announced that she had decided to go to night school to become a nurse. She wanted everyone to know that she was tired of the constant fighting in their home every night and was just going to take herself out of it all. Her house was chaotic. Wait till y'all read the story. And every story in this book is true. You should have seen the revulsion from the rest of the group. It was unbelievable, said one of the kids. What are you talking about? How could you leave us every night? Why would you want to do something like that anyway? You're too old. You're too dumb. And what about us? You don't really care about us? How selfish. Do you see the patterns of the 4 categories of carriers of toxicity? Remarkably, it took the rest of the family less than an hour to convince Susan that she was incapable of doing anything other than carry on the fights regularly in the family. I confronted them about what they were doing, but Susan herself soon joined the ranks. In a matter of minutes, they all turned on me like a pack of wild dogs for threatening their status quo. And he puts in parentheses, gee, I wonder why I don't do therapy anymore. And I've seen that. I've had a couple, maybe one individual, a married couple, but one of the individuals of that marriage component make an appointment with me, want to get some self-counseling and coaching started, and then eventually would bring their spouse in. And, all the things that this one that I had been spent these weeks with will be telling me this and this and this and this and this was going on. So when I get them together, I catch up the spouse who just catches up in the meeting with all that was shared, and I ask for their feedback and their responses so I can balance out the scales to find out if it's truth or if it's over amplified. If it was a terrible thing just because the person is just so miserable and everything else. And within sometimes the first session or the first 3, the 2 of them have been so toxic in their relationship for so long, they will join together and come against me. And I have to remind them, look, you said this, did you not? You said this, did you not? That's why with online coaching, everything's recorded and sent to you. And I'll tell you, go back and listen to the tape. It's in your MP3 in your email. It's about 22 minutes and 8 seconds in where you told me, because my notes are here, but you have an actual recording. Because people will be so used of the status quo, so even if it's toxic and destructive, and they will come together and turn on you. And you have to have facts and basis. Let me remind you why you came here. Because the night you came in here, I warned you that this could happen when you are confronted with this person who manipulates you through power, who gives you this facade of being overprotective or gives you a facade of being protective when it's really manipulating protection. Now that you're leveling up, they want to pull you back down onto a status quo. These are all the sabotage that this individual in this marriage was going through. And they eventually came back and they got it together, but it was rough. They turned on me, like Dr. Phil said, like a pack of dogs. The point is that the status quo offers a refuge from the fear of change. A shift of position of anyone is seen as a major threat to all. That means that any move you make towards reconnecting with your authentic self. Sorry, my FaceTime opened up and y'all heard what Apple got going on with their FaceTime, right? Close that up. That means that any move you make towards reconnecting with your authentic self may trigger resistance. The group or partner that you're dealing with may rise up against that perceived threat. See, because I've been trained, I recognize they weren't attacking me, but my plan, my processes, my counsel, my advice came as a threat to the pattern that they were so used to, that they could predict. I mean, these people went through so much money every single month. Their relationship was so toxic that sometimes I think their spending and their debt kept them together. And they said, if I had money, I would leave. And when we did the budget, we found out how much money came in. They had money, but it was work. So don't let this mind-numbing, the status quo mindset is a mind-numbing commitment to the status quo, dampen your spirit or your passion for your goals and pursuits in life. You are alive for a special reason, and that reason is to be the best that you can be. And do not let yourself or anyone else stop you from the pursuit of the best you that you can be. Do not allow anyone or any group to take that responsibility from you, especially not for the sake of their own comfort. We're just not doing that anymore, Harold. It's not how it's going to happen. I'll give you this short exercise. It's time for us to wrap up, and we'll finish this tomorrow, which will be our last night of our 30 days. All of the videos are on YouTube automatically. They're live on YouTube, and they are saved on YouTube, and you can go through them on your own. You can start ahead of us before February, or just wait for us to start again. I will be on next week, so you'll go through, you'll go through your detox, your withdrawal of us on Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday, but you'll probably catch me on Tuesday at some point, and we'll reconnect. Here's your exercise. You'll need to be particularly guarded and discreet in approaching this following exercise, since it may involve people who have great meaning to you. The goal is simply to help you focus on how other people might sabotage your efforts to reconnect with yourself. Remember that these people may not be consciously robbing you. In fact, they may be telling themselves that they are protecting you, that they want only the best for you. Their reasoning may be lofty and gracious, but the results are the same. Step 1, in your journal, write down the names of the people you feel, intentions aside, might sabotage you in your quest for your authentic life. Next to each name, and looking back at some of the descriptions I've given you, write down the category of their likely sabotage, the particular way that they may sabotage you. Please understand that this is not a blaming exercise. It is merely a way of alerting yourself to those people who could undermine your pilgrimage in even the kindest of well-intended ways. So you write down the names of people that's in your mind. It may not be fact. You're going to go over it for accuracy. But write down the people in your mind who you think will be a saboteur in your life, and then make a column. They're going to sabotage me through overprotection, power manipulation, leveling, or safety in the status quo. And then we'll talk about the rest on tomorrow night. All right, I'm good. I pray that you're good. YouTube looks good. Facebook, y'all look good. And last but not least, great lesson tonight. Thank you. Awesome. This is short and sweet, y'all. We can do this. Just write a couple names down. And you may even talk to them if you feel honest enough with them. Doesn't mean they are, but something in your mind tells you they are. All right, let's go home. 3, 2, 1. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you, and good night.